Welcome back to another installment of the Trenchless Table, where we talk all things trades, underground construction, business, and leadership. We're joined with my host, Dustin Schlachter, and two very special guests, Shannon Barnes.
That's correct.
And Kyle Baxter, with a fellow Obic installer, Advanced, that's us, American Rehab Coatings. You guys are out of... Iowa. Very good. Awesome. Great to have you, Kyle. Great to have you, Shannon. Great to have you, Dustin.
Yeah, it's good to be back here. And thanks for joining us today at the table, guys. We look forward to great conversation and hearing more about American Rehab. So I guess you want to kick us off with what you normally do, Cole, and let them introduce themselves, right?
Yeah. I mean, so this is an installer highlight at its nature. We want to know about you guys, who runs the company, but also how it was formed, where it's at maybe today, and where you kind of see some things going. So whoever wants to jump in first, we'd love to hear how ARC got rolling here.
Well, ultimately we met because I was coaching his kids in wrestling. And I think, through being around me, he thought I'd be a good addition to him. And he'd been in sewer rehab type industry for a long time. And about 2 years ago, we realized that there was a void in the manhole rehab sector. And that was basically the spawn of it, wouldn't you say, Kyle?
Yeah, we went through and researched several different materials and processes, and fell in love with the Obic process and decided this is the way we wanted to move on.
Well, we had done a rehab project that had some manhole rehab on it. Mm-hmm. And I am actually come from the concrete industry, and so as a youngster in the business, I was asking him, what is this rehab about? And when he let me know that it was a slung on cementitious type stuff, it didn't make sense to me that it'd be used in that environment. And that was kind of a little bit of the spark. And we started looking around. I'm like, that seems like an odd material to use in an environment that's known to eat away at cementitious materials. But
we like to, little tongue-in-cheek, say you fix your problem with your problem. But
there you go. That's a very good way to put it. I'll be using that one. And so, it's taken off for us. So, we're basically polyrea only. We're trying to get in other commercial projects, and we've done some kind of out-of-the-box stuff with it. And so it's taken off, and to this point of projects we've been approved on, we haven't missed any.
None.
We bat 1,000 for the ones that we've been allowed to bid on. And margins are good. We're happy with the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle, a little bit back about your background, if you would, quick.
I've cleaned sewers since I was 7 years old. My grandpa picked me up one morning and said, "Hey, the country club sewer's backed up, so put your boots on. We got to go clean it out." And he didn't think he'd have me ever again after that, and I couldn't get away from it. And so I've always worked for myself and figured out a way, and tried getting away from sewers after I got out of high school, and it drew me right back in. And I guess that's all I know is sewers.
There's so many jokes that I'm holding back.
Yeah.
No, but on a real note, though, what do you think is that detail or that piece that keeps you around in this industry?
Most of it's nobody else wants to do it, so it pays well, and a lot of good connections around from it, and just enjoy it.
Gotcha. Dustin, I'm curious your thoughts. I know we probably asked you that 700 times.
Well, one of the things that we always talk about is nobody cares about what we do until the water doesn't leave your house, right? So it is critical. And so a lot of people kind of downplay it, and it is a very important piece of the puzzle, right? Nobody else wants to do it. I agree. And so when I graduated, going back in time, I just didn't know what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And once you get started in the industry, it does kind of consume you and absorb your capacities. But it does provide a good living. It is a way to have a good living for your family, for other families, and it provides opportunity for people that, they don't know what they're going to do. So let's provide a good living.
And there's a lot of a lot of fun technology out there that people don't realize that we get to play with.
I didn't know how to spell polyurea or what it even was back in 1999, let alone the trenchless technology, the trenchless table, or Obic, or any of the sorts. So we're learning as we grow and go, like everybody also. But you're right. It is an age where a big wave of technology is headed into this marketplace. It's changing rapidly. No, AI is never going to take your job in the trenchless space. Now, there are things that will make accounting easier, functions easier, but they still need dudes and ladies, men and women, both, to go out and physically do stuff.
Yeah.
So AI is never taking what we got. It's
There's
a great
lot of
opportunity.
job security when you're talking about our industry.
Absolutely.
So
where are you guys at now? You say happy, strong, operating. What does that look like? How many crews are we running? What does that look like?
So right now we're a single crew. We've got 2 guys. One has worked for Kyle, I think, for about 13 years. Mm-hmm. And then we got my son to come on. He's 27 years old. So they're both extremely intelligent, extremely motivated. From the start, when we actually narrowed down to do just the polyurea coatings and manhole and lift station rehab, that sort of thing, we set it up in a way that we could pay them extremely well. You know, we wanted them to not only like what they're doing, have a little skin in the game, you know, have opportunities for, you know, bonuses, and make enough money that they'd be taking a pay cut if they left us. That's kind of the model that we're shooting for. So to this point, every single product or project we've put them on, they've finished faster and with a high quality than we ever could have imagined. I mean, they've gotten 4 average size manholes, 10 feet deep in a day. And, you know, we've got it formulated for them too. We set them out. We expect this much done in the week. And, you know, we have guaranteed pays for days that they don't work if they get done early. So they're all about their hard charge, and they go out and get a 5-day job done in 2.5, 3 days, come home and have a long weekend and make more money than they would in a 40-hour week just dragging their feet. So I think it's important.
Idea.
When you get good people, you got to treat them well. I mean, you know, one of them wealthy billionaires, I heard him say, I'm not rich because I pay people well. Or he says, I don't pay people well because I'm rich. I'm rich because I pay my employees well. And I think there's a lot to that. So obviously we're excited about what we do. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make a better living for everybody involved. And with that mentality, I think we've got a winning formula. So we're excited.
That is a winning scenario. One question I have, like, and maybe we will leave this, maybe we won't, but one question that I have is, you're doing all the research, you're trying to figure out which direction to go. Why Obic?
So the biggest 2 things that probably drew us to Obic was with us being in Iowa, we have a huge freeze-thaw cycle. And with Obic's 400% elongation, it allows us to spray and not have the cracks up towards the top where the frost is. The other thing is ease of installation. Some other ones we looked at, there was a high probability of failures. Moisture caused a lot more problems in them. And just the ease of application and the versatility of the product. And then price, you know, we're very competitively priced with the other processes that are in Iowa. Mm-hmm. And some of the other products we looked at, just we were pricing ourselves out. You know, not everybody needs a BMW in their sewer system.
Yeah, good point. Well, great. I appreciate you looking at it that way. And just, I'm always curious. We've got other states that are still open, and these are things that we want to try and continue to capitalize on is those other areas to bring on industrious people that are ready to grow and build a strong brand.
To expand on that, a big thing with you guys was not only did you guys have a better, more lasting solution to the problem, but the incredible training and support that you get. I mean, I don't know how much you're wanting to get into it, but you guys have a 3-week process where you guys are extremely intimate with the training. You don't just, hey, send me a check and we'll send you a certificate, say that you're a certified guy. And most industries are like that. People don't understand that somebody just paid an amount of money to be able to use somebody's brand. And that's definitely not the case. You guys just aren't going to kick anybody out there in the field. And so that's important to us because, like he says, it doesn't matter what your product is. It's only as good as the guy's putting it in, right? So the more difficult that process is, or the less training that they get on it, the product's not going to be good. And so when you got guys out there that are putting it in right and it's going to last and they're going to get done, then it's just been a life changer for both of us.
Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. One of the things about training that I think people miss the mark on is no technology that I know that's out there you can train on the back of a tailgate anymore. It just doesn't work that way. There's too many steps in the process, and having a SOP, standard operating procedures. This is how we get work done. I get it. It's not for everybody, and maybe most people don't read it, but there is a process, and it's written on purpose. So if you follow this process, if you follow these steps, you'll be successful at rehabilitation using our systems, and it's done on purpose. As a reference point, also as a way to kind of not retrain, but it's a living, working document. So anytime a new person comes on, it might have some different things added to it, but it's still the same basis for training. So everybody gets trained the same way. We all impact each other. We have installers from Germany and Israel and the UK. They still impact what you do, and you impact them, even though they're 3,000 miles away. This industry of trenchless manhole rehabilitation is very small, and we all are linked together by the quality of our installation.
That being said, sorry, Shannon. That being said, we're here at Obicon. I missed that in the introduction. This is Obicon. Obicon, for those that don't know, this is a week of training, a week of fellowship of the Obic network, a week of sharing stories, both war stories and victories, and for a time for Obic to get together nationally and internationally and partake in food, hanging out, sharpening the sword, and then that SOP training. So that's a yearly occurrence that guys and gals are bringing in their office, their field staff to come and train. There's 2 tracks. So we're learning sales intricacies. We're learning technicalities as far as the specifications go and the product and physical properties. It could talk you blue in the face on all this stuff. And then field guys are down in the shop learning more tricks of the trade with SOPs, how to further troubleshoot your equipment in the field, et cetera. That just kind of furthers you put it on a T for me that Obic is doing things year in and year out that maybe some others out there aren't. And I know this is kind of a high stress situation. Everyone's coming in today. But at the same time, it's probably humbling, if I could speak for you, to
Absolutely.
open up your doors. And we call this our house, and let in 100 or so people from all over the world at this point come join us and hang out and talk shop. So I think that's super exciting. If I could ask you one question on the back end of that would be, what are you guys looking to get out of Obicon? This is probably your field guys, maybe first time coming. Shannon, I think this is your third.
Right.
This is my first time.
Kyle's been too busy and too cool to come the last couple of years. But so what are you guys looking to get out of it?
Well, this last year has really been our first full year of operation, I guess you could say. So now with some of my experiences, I feel like I'll get more out of it, picking brains of the guys from other regions. How do you deal with this problem? Have you run into this issue? How do you deal with engineers, this kind of thing? So I think I can extract a lot more out of it, having the experience of running it for a full year.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the same. We got an interesting project coming on this spring that we got to remove some liner. And so I want to pick the brains of other people in the network and just see if anybody else has experienced the same thing and figure out the best process. me and Shannon are always big on learning from other people's mistakes instead of making the mistake and then try and figure it out. Let's find out who's made the mistakes, and because there's somebody out there.
Yeah, that's a daunting task. Liner removal. When those come up, the guys, I don't know if it's better to surprise them and just say there's a couple, or really divest all the information and say, yeah, this one's going to suck. But it is part of it, and that's reality, and we all do it. One of the reasons why we do the training, and going back to that, is we don't want liner failures. We don't want to have to deal with that. And so we have narrowed it down to what we believe is about 0.5%. Is that correct, Cole?
Correct. I have a sheet on my hard drive that proves that.
Yes. We're about 0.5% of installations that we do has a failure. And failures, maybe it's just a bubble. Maybe a guy had a bad afternoon and a leak came back or something happened, and it's not a breach failure. We're talking about
it's a blemish,
minor blemishes. Yeah. It's an imperfection. They had a little overspray where it shouldn't be, and it's flapping. And so we touch it up. We make it look good because we want the customer to be happy. And so that's a really cool thing to be able to say is 0.5%. That's minute.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What about for your field guys? What are you looking for them to learn and enjoy here this week?
Probably touch up SOP, and then just get the hands-on stuff. They're going through the Graco stuff, learn the machines better, so they can be more productive in the field if they do have issues with machines. And then just all the little details, the testing stuff that's here, and networking. I don't care what level you are. Networking is important. If you're networking with another owner, or if you're networking with other sprayers, or a sprayer to a salesman, everybody can learn something from somebody.
You're stealing my thunder for tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about proximity, and the proximity principle is just that. So we've got guys here from Germany and UK and all over the United States, and we've got business owners and a guy that's been here less than a year, maybe. I don't know. And tomorrow we're going to talk about that. It's proximity. We're in proximity of people that care, people that want to get better, and you want us to get better. We want you to get better. It is a combination of we're all in this together. We just talked about small industry and the proximity of people. If you want to be, today you're a laborer and you want to be a foreman, a project manager, a sales guy, that room's full of opportunities to talk.
Yeah.
And so
that was the other thing I wanted to bring up earlier when we were talking about the benefits of Obic, that people don't always see from the outside, is we have quarterly meetings that we all get together and share everything, because we're a family of installers. We're not competitors against each other. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we're a company in Iowa, but we have a company in Missouri next to us that we can bounce ideas off of and work together. And ART's right next to us in Illinois. There's opportunities to bounce things off and work together. If we haven't done something, you guys are there to help us. So yeah, that's it's a huge thing about Obic that probably doesn't always get seen or talked about from the outside. Another
testament to your training and quality assurance, I guess you could say, by doing it the way you do it, you create what's known in manufacturing as standard work. Mm-hmm. You cover the how and why. And coming from a construction background, it was always, I guess, to use what I used to tell people is most people learn their trade monkey see, monkey do. Mm. You saw that guy do it, and so let's say you're talking about a concrete driveway. Most of the guys on the job can tell you the process. You're going to tear out the old, take out some soil, bring in some rock, compact it, so on and so forth. But if you were to stop and ask them any of the science of why they're doing what they're doing, they're like, well, that's the way we've always done it. And that's the monkey see, monkey do. When you teach somebody the here and why, in essence, you're teaching them to fish, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of just giving them a fish for a day. Mm-hmm. And after spending some time around you, you're not it's not like we come on board and then you send us off and then our problems are our problems. You expect our product to be installed as good as your product here. Last year at Obicon, without getting into it too deep, you had talked about a project that you thought was ours because of color alone, and you were obviously addressing the fact, basically saying, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're basically about to tell everybody, if you're going to be a part of this, you're not going to install this way. You know what I mean? And I got the feel that you were kind of like calling everybody on the carpet, like, your product is my product. The fact that you're in a different state is meaningless. Yeah. And that's the standard work and standard quality that you expect of the product that you represent. So that's great.
We can't be the best if we're not all collectively the best. And so you put a big target on your back when you claim it, and then you got to live it. And so we got to live it out.
A very smart coach in the sport of wrestling that I know.
Was his name Shannon Barnes?
No, this is the second best.
He didn't say super handsome, incredible coach.
No, but he said if you set a standard, let's say 100% satisfaction, but you only hit it 70% of the time, you don't have 100% satisfaction. You have 70% satisfaction, and that's 100% right. So, and I think so many people in business, they don't get that part of it. They think that, they keep people isolated. On a concrete crew, a lot of times the finisher doesn't know what the puddler is doing in this or care, right? Well, you do it in a way that everybody knows, like more like the military. Hey, one guy goes down, you jump right in the job, and you know how to take over. And that's that. Like I say, from a manufacturing world, they call that standard work. Everybody does it the same way. So if somebody does it different than everybody else, it stands out to everybody.
Yeah. And we're trying to get better every day too. Like we trip over our own feet periodically. And the one thing that we know is sometimes we are going to trip. Sometimes we got to redirect. We got to, be agile. Still small company that can move quickly because we don't have, it's not run by a spreadsheet. It's run by quality. So I think that's one thing that does separate, the network as a whole is everybody is 100% invested in the success of their own network, their own, territory. And, it's not always, yes, the bottom line matters, but quality, installation, repeatable processes, people is what drives the bottom line. And it's not just dollars and cents.
So talking quality, we do the work for dollars and cents. Tell me about some of the coolest work you guys have gotten into, some stuff you guys are seeking out. Whether it's manholes or maybe something bigger. I don't know what you guys have been up to since last time we chatted. So I'd love to hear what's been going on in the field.
Lots of manholes.
Yeah.
One of the fun projects last year, we did a vault in the basement of a city hall that was under a sidewalk. And
where was the access?
I think it was about 125 feet from the vault was our access. So
wow,
we had to drag hoses and heater hoses. We had to drag you in and all that stuff. But it was raining from the ceiling to
which was the sidewalk,
into all their old documents.
Yeah.
So we went in and sealed that up, and it was a cool project. We thought it was going to take a week to do. They ended up getting it done in 2 days. So.
That's a home run.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, is that one up for Project of the Year? Did you turn one in?
I did not turn one in.
No? All right. Next year.
We'll be covering it in our little 15-minute spot, though.
Yeah. Cool.
I got to ask, did you do the sidewalk too? On top? No.
No.
We're
It's
getting
fancy brick overlay looking
Gotcha.
thing. We could have made it look better with orange, but
I like it.
Gotcha.
It was a neat project. We ended up, as far as disruption, like you said, we was in and out in 2 days. We ended up coming in at about a third of their lowest price, and that was after giving ourselves some cushion.
Most of the other solutions were let's redirect the water. After the water comes in, let's redirect it somewhere else. We'll get rid of it instead of.
One of them was going to that wall covering that they use. It's like a pool liner. Tack that to the ceiling. Oh, it was a joke. They was going to just spray foam straight to it. Was somebody in the line like, no. But so anyway, everybody was happy and it was a great job. We did well on it. So, yeah. So that was, I'm sure that's probably the only one that you guys have heard of doing anything like that.
I don't think we've ever worked under a sidewalk like that for a records vault, but that's a cool project. And so what's next? I think that was kind of the finish of the Cole's question is what's next is 2026. I always say once the month starts, it's over. So what are you looking forward to in March? Because February's it's February 2nd and it's over.
We're looking to get back to work. So
yeah,
it's been too cold to get the trucks out. Everybody always asks us, how cold can you spray? I'm like, well, we can spray at anything, but my guys got to be comfortable and it's got to be productive at the same time. So we're getting back to work. Got a little water tank project to do here at the end of February. Kick things off. A lot of training this month, with Obicon this week, and then we're doing PDA certified applicator training the week after next. So a lot of training for the guys this month, and then get back to work the end of the month and just start kicking off some small manhole projects, get some loose ends tied up, and then start getting into the bigger projects come April.
We do have an interesting kind of a flagship, I guess, project. We've got a lift station we're going to be doing that was installed in 2019, and it was coated with a type of epoxy pre-operation. And it's already eaten through all the epoxy and an inch of the concrete's gone. They pull their pumps once a month and clean it out because they're getting so much debris it's clogging the exit pipe. So that's obviously when you're talking about competition, you know what I mean?
That's one we want to get Lee out on and have him shoot pictures through. And
yeah, nice.
I think it'll be a good project.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about it. What's the size? What's it?
I think it's 18 foot deep, 13 by 13. It's outside access, so easy access, four holes at the top. The city will do the bypass for us, so we don't have to worry about the bypass. It's coming from a meat processing plant, so that's where a lot of the H2S is coming from. It's just eating it away.
But in essence, it's a field study on a SWOT test. If you think about it, high H2S environment, it's proven failure. So
yeah, with another product that's already failed.
I was just thinking that you communicated it in such a way that you were confident of like, well, this one's failing, we're going to go in and fix it. You weren't like, we'll see how we do. So this is a conversation, but obviously kind of a walking advertisement. But it's interesting though to say that the Obic network is able to look at a project or a structure, an asset that is failing, even with some fortification on the wall of a pre-existing liner. And for us to see that and really not be too overwhelmed by it and just say, yeah, we're going to go back in and we'll get the bad stuff off and we're going to line it. That points to one, I mean, it's only 6 years young, right? Yeah. But the Obic network at its vastness has installed 7 million square foot. Nobody's here to fact check me. 10 million square foot, something between 5 and 10 million square foot.
It's got to be getting close to 10 by now.
Yeah. I mean, I can say whatever I want. It's my podcast. But realistically, between 5 and 10 million square foot, right? And you guys are able to say, hey, we're going to go in and we're going to fix this with this product. Our guys are training. We're taking the initiative during some downtime because we got 8 inches of snow out here too. Our guys have been doing the same thing your guys are doing, and it's okay. but it's also nerve wracking at the same time. I'm not writing checks. I can't speak for you how okay it is.
It's nerve wracking. It's time to get back to work.
It's time to get back to work.
Sure.
But I just wanted to point that out. Like, that's easy for us at the table that we live in Obic world to gloss over that, right? That's really something substantial to the municipality, everybody.
Well, when you're a student of your business, like, obviously I work as kind of our salesman as well. And, they're always, what's it cost? What's the price? So on this one, I'm talking to the guy and I go, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. And he's like, what do you mean? And I go, you're asking what it costs. And I'm like, think of the ROI. What does it cost you to pull them pumps once a month? How would you like to never have to do that again?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so bad they thought by leaving, they literally run with the hatches open to try to let it purge itself a little bit. And
the neighborhood loves that, I bet.
Yeah.
So what's the cost of not getting this
exactly
fixed
right
is the real question.
That's exactly right. Now, we were doing a kind of a test project in the city of West Des Moines. It's a good-sized town. And so they give us one that's got
Fire
like
hose.
openly. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you got 4 different garden hoses squirting into it. See how you do on this one. The end of that was we had it done by lunchtime. But anyway, their engineer was talking to me, and he was telling me if you have an active leak like that, that's a 1/2 inch in diameter, flowing all the time, because this was next to a creek, he says that will cost them $8,000 a year to treat that clean water.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the cost of that project was $4,200.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's it. This will be paid for in 6 months. And I said, if you think about it, you're actually going to make money then after 6 months because it's money you're not spending. So, most people don't think like that, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when you lay it out, it makes obviously perfect sense.
And as ratepayers, I don't live in the country, so it kind of doesn't matter to me, so to speak, because my water goes to a big pond lagoon. But if you live in town, that's a big deal because rates can stay solid if communities are forward thinking enough to plan ahead and get ahead. Where some communities, and because I guess I've been in this industry long enough now to know, because I've had enough of these conversations with engineers and city people, they're just waiting to pass the problem. And that's the wrong idea. That's the wrong mentality. And I wish that some of these older municipal people would stop thinking that way. And, geez, Dustin, I got 2 years and 17 days and 36 minutes and it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's compounding the problem. So
The other thing I see a lot is engineers like to fix the problem with building a bigger sewer plant instead of stopping the amount of water coming to the sewer plant.
yeah.
We have case studies. I can think of one specifically, maybe south 45 minutes or so, that they were going to add a lagoon because they were at capacity. And prior to, I think maybe we talked them into it, or maybe they had, let's try this. It was kind of a spaghetti at the wall scenario. I think we lined 5-10 manholes in town. And I think from those 10 manholes, they saw the writing on the wall that, no, we don't actually, that lagoon's going to be expensive. I don't think we even need it. And so they put together a comprehensive program that was a couple manholes a year, something they could handle in budget. And today there's no second lagoon for that reason. So
Well, this particular town we were just talking about, West Des Moines, they have already sworn off cementitious only because they had so many problems with it. And now that we got in the SUDA standard that we kind of talked about, which is the standard that dictates, rehabilitation in Iowa, we'll be able. We're going to win them over. We'll take that, and they do about $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that's another big.
That's a great feather in the cap.
Yeah,
So
it absolutely is.
current backlog, you're running one crew, and looks like you've got a few months worth of work on the books.
We're sitting about 4 or 5 months right now.
Good.
I'd like more, but
Yeah.
you gotta get Shannon off the couch.
That's been
out of the
cold.
wrestling room.
That's messed up.
It's been cold out there, But with one crew, you're at a pivotal point because when you go to 2 crews, that's a 100% increase.
Right.
And so those days are tough. And those are not easy days because you got to double the sales, you got to double the crews, you're dividing your experience in half, and now it is 100% growth to get to that second crew. So,
I've owned other companies before that I think at my peak I was about 20 guys, and I said several times in this venture, I want to stay small, no more than 6 guys, and we'll do what we can do and do it the best we can do and not lose quality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's have a sidebar conversation. I'll get you back. Let's get your confidence back up. Let's get you
On
back
that
over
note,
that 20
I am
now.
confident.
We do have the right guys right now. We've actually got a plan in place. Obviously, we want to get more work secured, but obviously our plan is to split them up and train the next 2 guys. But we definitely got the right guys for it.
Yeah.
It's having good people makes everything better.
Yeah.
So when you find them, treat them right. That's my best advice to anybody. Never let a good guy get away.
Absolutely. I don't know if you guys
I
can
got one
hear
more.
it.
Yeah, this is
Must be 11 o'clock. The fire siren's going off.
take
It's
shelter
a
here?
monthly.
No tornadoes right now, so we're
Right.
No, it's just a test.
Tell the overseas guys, hey, everything's good.
No bomb. No, don't put your bomb helmets on.
Stay upright. We're fine. With the season your business is in, I'm curious, what's outreach look like? So you said you manage sales. I'm sure you guys are both wearing a lot of hats. What's that kind of look like? How are we going to get jobs?
It's not as taxing as it may sound. So, what I found is like I'm not out just beating every door so much. It's more layer. I'm shooting with a rifle instead of a shotgun. So, I'm targeting the decision makers in towns, engineering firms. Getting kind of the recognition of the project or the product out there. And so it's more focused like that. We've the shows that we attend, we started having very simple. We'll have a DeWalt kit and just hey, sign up and let me come pitch it. And it's made a huge difference in contacts. So we're actually just getting a lot more out of the work that we're doing. I wouldn't say that we're doing more of it. We're just more efficient at doing it. Mm-hmm. So Kyle, with the small footprint of 2 trucks, 2 guys, he's got a shop at his house. So summertime, he works poolside. And it's like I said,
I don't know if it's that luxurious, but
I've been there, right? But anyway, anyways, like I said, first of all, it's exciting. I mean, it's always fun when you're winning. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I would say it's much less stressful. We don't, all we hear from the guys is when you're waving goodbye and when you're getting the phone call that they're coming home, they're problem solvers. And again, to stroke you again, your support system, if they do have an issue, they're not calling us, they're calling Trey. We're calling your guys. Mm-hmm. And you guys are handling it on the phone. So, you guys have been a student of your business to an extent that's just insane. They describe a problem and you guys already know what the problem is. The diagnosis over the phone, right? So you're like WebMD for,
Hey, don't say that too loud. Those guys are going to want a pay raise.
There you go. Right.
Careful on WebMD too.
we keep Trey beat down enough. So.
But it's a well-oiled machine. Like you said, not that you ever get to a point and be satisfied. You're always trying to improve, but it's that diligence that keeps you at the forefront of the industry, plain and simple.
Yeah, I think this has been great. I think you knocked out of the park with really just beating Obic to the top. That's where we feel like we're aspiring to be. It's where we feel like we probably are some days. But we really appreciate your testimony. Appreciate you guys being a part of the team, joining us at the table here, joining us at Obicon 2026. Probably a twinkling in your eye several years ago to say, hey, I want to hold a summit, a conference, a trade show-esque, where we get meeting of the minds all within this Obic world, and we break bread and we hang out, talk shop. So seeing it come together and grow year over year. Of my 3 years here, it's been pretty freaking awesome. You know what I mean? But just want to say thank you guys.
Yeah, thank
Glad to
you.
be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for making the trip in, fellas. Thanks for joining us at the table, and we look forward to this being just a rock solid year for American Rehab and Coatings in Iowa this season. So just keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to be awesome. So thanks for being here with us.
Excellent.
Yeah,
thank you.
See you on the next one.